Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Sorcery. Previously, we wrapped up exploring the necropolis and we ran into Shinva, one of the nobles, and he gave us his spell line for the North Gate. We also had a bit of a misadventure in the ziggurat and a run-in with a deity. But then we went to the North Gate, and alas, I only had 3 of the 4 spell lines I need to control the gate. And so we were cast back in time to the beginning once again, permanently lowering my stamina, but giving me another shot to gather items and find those spell lines. I need to now look for Molis, the last noble. He is a living corpse haunting the city people somewhere, and he'll have the last line, I hope. Well, okay, so I say this is a special video because one way or another, Act 2 will end here and now. I'm going to just cut ahead a whole bunch. I'm going to speed run through this. I'll only show the new and interesting things I run across as I make my way through the city. And by the time we end things, one way or another, we'll progress forward. Either I have all the spell lines and can control the gate, or we'll have to go on to the backlands, leaving Kare to its destruction. So, without further ado, guess we need to get going. I think I'd quite like to go back into the Chainmaker's house. This is where I got my silver chain, but I recall that I had an opportunity to look around. Let's search the room. Right, so what did we do? Search along the... well, I think we want look near the door where we were. Oh, a small vial of glue used by the chainmaker to hold together his more delicate and cheaper chains. You take it. Alright, how about look under the table? Nothing but dust and wood ticks there. Well, search along the left wall. Oh, next you look near the left wall and come across a small box containing 3 gold pieces which you take. Nice. Okay, how about the right wall? Okay, now we got the shopkeeper's attention. I think before we talked our way out of this. Yeah, I'm not stealing from you, you reply calmly. I called out, but you didn't hear me. I heard nothing. Exactly. Alright, so, he halts his approach. You want chains. Yeah, okay. So can I buy another silver chain? How much does it cost? 5 gold. I already have one. I think we're good to go. I don't want it. Alright, so I have 11 gold. That's nice, and I got some glue as well. I think that's a spell tool. For something. Hopefully it's reusable. Leave this place. Okay, so right here, my biggest thing about looking for Molis is that I need to look in places I never looked before, and I think as far as I can see, these main roads here are the biggest clue. Previously, I never went up here, and previously we went straight here, straight through the fair and the festival, and we also went up this road which led straight to Dwarf Town. As much as it is tempting to go visit the shop again and actually buy things, no, I need to cover new ground and look for Molis. The question is, do I want to start here, back to this junction, and go up this main thoroughfare? Or do I want to take this small route here? At least I think I can go there. Yeah, cut through the fields. You know, if I was an undead corpse, I'd probably want to sit by... I'd probably want to be by the fields. I'd be sitting in the field instead of in the middle of a road. That's what I'd be doing. Let's try it. You strike out across the fields, away from the path, heading towards the rising land and the river. Somewhere in the center of Kare are the docks. a busy place that will hopefully help you in your search for the city nobles. You crest the rise, intending to get a view of the way ahead, then pause at the sound from behind you. It is a quiet shh of a dagger drawing from a sheath. Draw my sword. You spin around, drawing your sword as you turn to find yourself facing a thug, armed with a short dirk and cackling with glee. His smile drops a bit when he realizes he has been spotted, but he waves the blade at you nonetheless. Who does this guy think he is? Maybe I can get some coins from him. We'll attack. Oh yeah, look at this dude. Look at that pitiful attack power. You launch forward with your sword. Right. Half a keel blow should do. Ooh, look at that. Oh, huge wound. The thug is perhaps crazy. He screams wildly as he hurtles forward. You swing hard with your sword, aiming to cut him down in a stroke. Your blade slices deep. The thug can barely find his balance. The thug shifts his grip on his dagger. Let's keep up the offensive. Keep up the pressure. You climb an outcrop and leap forward, lashing out with your sword as you land. Your strike is more than the thug can take. He strikes the ground, quite dead. Well, there's a corpse, but it's not living. Search his body, of course. Apart from this dirk, a useless little blade, he is carrying only a couple of gold pieces, which you take, and a couple of what look like gambling chips. Oh! Maybe I should visit the gambling den this time. Maybe. Okay, my only choice is to follow the path. Please, there's got to be something here. The path winds through fields, passing an orchard on one side. The trees are dying and bare of apples. Wait, I just realized I'm planning to visit Korga this run in the ziggurat on the east. Did that count as murder? No, that was self-defense, right? He came at me with the dagger. That was self-defense, right? Right? Korga's not going to be mad at me for that, right? Anyway, the trees are dying and bare of apples. On the other side, across muddy fields, you see the colors and flags of a festival. Then the view is shrouded by tall fences on either side. Look at the fences. You pause to look at the fences. The fields they contain seem ordinary enough, but for some reason the fences themselves are 2 or 3 times your height. There are no ladders to climb over that you can see, and no gates. A spell might be helpful here. A fence, huh? Look through the fence. Peering through the fence, you see a square field of very long grass, which seems to be ungrazed and with which no one has cropped in a long time. Anything might be hidden in there. Cast a spell? Let's try sus, if we can, to suss out danger. Oh, yeah, you? S. Okay, sense danger. You cast the spell, and a calm voice enters your mind to tell you that the field is, while not dangerous, a most ill-advised place to visit. The voice then fades without providing any more information. Okay, so something is not good there. Maybe it's a living corpse. We'll climb over. You clamber up the first few runs of the fence until you reach the top. From here, you have a good view of the fair to the north and east, and the lower parts of Kare in the other direction, towards the wall. But looking down into the field, you can still see nothing but lawn grass. Drop down into the field. The fenced field. You're standing in the field of grass that comes up almost to your neck, surrounded on all sides by a tall fence. The field appears to be empty, however. Alright, search the grass. You crouch low and feel around in the grass to see if there is anything hidden there. Suddenly, something grabs your wrist, holding you down low. Which wrist? Hope it's not my sword hand. Draw my sword. You go for your sword, but you cannot move your arms. You're now fully held and being pulled down towards the earth. Scream for help. No, that's not going to do anything, is it? Pray for aid. I'd just rather take the death, honestly. Scream for help. You scream out for help, only to have the thick and curling grass stalks wind their way into your throat. You are pulled down the very soil of the earth itself, and there you expect to be swallowed by some terrible beast. But nothing happens. You are lying on the ground under the grass, held firmly in place, but nothing else is happening. Looking around, you see you are not alone. Several other creatures are being held, from rabbits, squirrels, and rats, to larger creatures. You can see a human foot in one direction, and a Sven's clawed hoof in another. There are also assorted items, gold pouches, weapons, and farming equipment. All are tied firmly down by a thick knot of grasses. Okay. I think we need to deal with this grass first, but talk to the creatures. You there, you call out. Can you hear me? Neither foot gives any reaction. You try to reach out and poke the Sven, but of course you cannot move your arms. If you can hear me, wiggle your toe. Neither toe wiggles. Looking more closely at the human foot, you notice that the toe is a deeply unsettling blue color. That's when you realize the owner of the toe was no longer alive. The grass around your neck is very slowly tightening its hold. We need to cast a spell. Okay, you look up to the stars for a spell to cast, but there is no use. With your arms tied down, you cannot craft magic. From somewhere outside the field, you hear a voice. Works even better than we expected. It's at least 10 times as strong as normal pilfer grass. It'd be good to test it on a giant. I've invited Anvar, replies the second voice. He's the strongest creature in Kare right now. We'll see how he fares. Isn't that the barbarian we beat in a brawl? Okay. I think these guys aren't willing to help us. Let's try reaching for a weapon. But of course you cannot move your arms. Help me, please. The voices stop. There is a dark chuckle. Well, do you hear that? I do. Sounds like we might get to do your test after all. You seem to be trapped without hope of escape. Will you starve to death down here? As it turns out, it is the grass growing into your throat that finishes you off. Wow. Well, that's grim. Okay. Let's just... Oh, that human could be... that human body in there could be Molus. Maybe. Like, that's not exactly haunting the townsfolk, but it's a human body. I need to look at it. I'll try and investigate here. Okay, so the pit of grass was a dead end, literally. But I went to the end of the path, and I was able to go down here, thank God. And I have choices. I can now go through the narrow track, and I think that goes straight to Theta's mansion. I'm not sure I want to go that way. But I have a choice of a fire pit or the road downhill. I'm thinking I want to go down the road, and maybe I can double back and check out the fire pit later. You continue down the road, heading back towards the wall just visible in the distance. A few buildings appear on the right-hand side of the road. It is quiet with no one about. This part of the city port is barely habited, and certainly not somewhere the nobles would be found. But you may be able to learn some useful information from inhabitants all the same. You pass by a large structure with its doors opened wide. The smell of incense floats out from within. Look at the building. A wide unlit space, a woman's voice chanting. Enter the building, turn down the road. Yeah, let's check it out. You step into the gloomy shade of the building. The aroma of perfume and oil grows so thick that you begin to cough and choke, announcing your presence to whoever is inside. The singing voice falls silent. Who's there? You call out to the darkness. There is no reply, just a quiet sound like a light footstep or the turning page of a book. Then there is a voice. Greetings, woman of Analand. I see you are not to be trusted. Greetings? The voice laughs, a gentle, pealing sound like a chime. I see you are searching for something. I'm after the North Gate spell. Is that so? That is forbidden knowledge, the voice laughs again. There is that noise again, like a palm slapping down. I see difficulty upon difficulty. Lady, you have no idea. Can you help? Another slap. It is the sound of a card being turned from a deck. Tell me, she says. Speak a word, and I will tell you what I see. Gate, crown, enough of this. Look, the crown is up in Mampain. I need to find out about the gate. I see a closed door. I see a whispered secret. I see a trap of fire. Fire, crown, kare, magic. The magic words? I see a dead end, a closed door. I see a wise man, but the card is reversed. This means death. I see a snake that eats its own tail. Noble. I see a grave. I see a ghost who walks. I see a wise man. Suddenly, from the far end of the room, a single candle flame ignites. A shade has been lifted from a lamp, revealing a woman in a deep hood, seated at a star-shaped table. She is staring at the cards laid out in front of her. Approach her. You step forward and she looks up sharply, eyes wide with fear. Stay back, she cries. You seek the crown of kings. You intend to conquer the old world. I seek to save it. Nothing will save it. The damage is done. It would be better if the crown were dropped into the sea. Remember this. Who are you? You ask, stepping forward once more. The woman looks up with deep eyes. A long scar runs across her face from mouth to left ear. I see things, she says, things that not all wish to hear. I wish to hear. She nods. You are wise. She turns another card, a movement that is almost involuntarily. Then she looks up at you. Remember this, the crown is not in Kare, but there are many who claim it is, and only one who is deceived. Only one truly believes. Thank her. Is she talking about Sansis with this crappy discount crown? You thank her for her mysterious warning, but her attention is lost once more, taken by the cracks in the flagstone floor on which she sits. The streets will burn, she murmurs. The wolves must be turned around. You leave her to her dark vision. You step back out onto the path to continue your journey. The wolves must be turned around. The hell? Okay, well, let's continue down south here. Anything? You stay on the main road, which heads down a slight slope to reach a small settlement of poor huts. As you pass these homes, ugly creatures gather to watch you in silence. A little further on, you come across a body laying face down in the gutter. A beggar, asleep, or some sort of creature in a drunken stupor. Check if the creature is alive. You approach the limp body cautiously. Nobody in the street seems to be taking any notice. You bend down closer and shake the shoulder of the body. There's no response. Hello? Roll it over? You grip the body's arm and turn it over. As its face swings around, you jump back aghast. The body is a semi-decayed corpse with a rotting head that is half skull, half putrid flesh. And worse, an evil smile is spreading across its face. A moment later, it has sprung to its feet, leaping at you. Yes! Okay. Throw the chain at the corpse. We need to interrogate this thing. Throw the chain at the corpse. Oh. You whip out the chain you got from the chainmaker's shop and fling it at the corpse. The chain wraps itself the body and begins to tighten like a snake, squeezing the air out of its prey. Yeah, see, that's what I wanted to do to that death wraith. Then, quite suddenly, the corpse explodes into a bloody mess of arms, legs, head, and torso. The chain collapses to a tight knot and hits the ground, while the separate pieces of the corpse keep coming for you. Oh, that's really pleasant. Okay, we need to cast a spell. Maybe I can read its mind. Please, anything. No T, huh? Okay. P-O-P? No. H-O-T? No, do not burn it. We need to examine its body closely. G-U-M? Create glue. Requires a vial of glue. Oh, that'd be something. F-O-G. Summon darkness. No. S-I-X. Clone the caster. I don't think... Look, I don't want to risk damaging the body too much with a spell. Any clue I can glean from this is too important, so we'll just fight it. You are now battling the flying mess. Oh, jeez. Okay, I think I might have weakened it, maybe. Let's overpower it. 0! Hey! The corpse floats back, torso coming up to protect the head. You raise your sword swiftly, wasting effort as your blow falls short. Okay, overpowered again. You continue the hideous fight. You aim a blow for its head. The corpse is wide open as it kicks into you. You cut a chunk of dead flesh clean away. The corpse wobbles in midair, arms crashing into legs. You have confused it. Okay, maybe a weak blow will do something good. Nice. Your sword cleaves piece after piece of flesh from the floating creature's skin. You chop at its legs. As the living corpse approaches, your blade lands deep into a leg. Black gunk oozes down your blade. Tendons and ligaments are poking out from the corpse's flesh. Can it feel pain? You cannot say. Well, I certainly can. Let's not take the next blow. I could have overpowered it there. You drop back, raising your sword to protect your body. The living corpse bites at you manically. Passers-by on the street are stopping to watch in horror. I can probably overpower it here. Time to best this hideous monstrosity. You slice for its heart. Then your blade lands into the creature's brain. The head falls to the floor and the other limbs go limp in an instant. Decent dueling. The body parts on the ground squirm and slowly ooze back together. The corpse now looks once again as though it has been run over in a chariot race. But it is definitely lying still, for now at least. Okay, take my chain back. You collect your chain from the ground once more. Somehow, in the confusion, it has unknotted itself. Whatever magic it contains must still be present. Search the body. Expecting another immediate attack, you go over to search the body, but it is clothed in rags and has barely any pockets, let alone anything inside them. You are unlikely to find a single gold piece on him. Search the corpse's mouth. Look in the corpse's throat. Look under the corpse's belt. The throat is so weirdly specific, I'm kind of drawn to that option. Disgusted, you push your fingers into the back of the corpse's throat. Something? Yes. With fingertips, you draw out a fragment of paper. It is a handwritten line, but it has been torn in half along the script, and you cannot make out the words. Keep the note. You pocket the strange note. Perhaps later you will discover what it means. From a nearby doorway, a face appears and beckons you over. Oh, what the hell? Okay, hold on. I need to look at that note. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it just said that the note has been torn through and cannot be read. Crap. House doorway. You stride over to the hut. The face is that of a small gnome who begins to chatter in a high-pitched voice. You killed it. Did you kill it? I think you killed it. I will kill you next? What the hell? That is just sociopathic. Yeah, I killed it. It's wonderful, the gnome says. We're saved. It'll be a good for a few months until it wakes up again. We'll guard it somewhere else. Here. We wanted to thank you. He reaches behind him for something. Wait to see what he does. You wait, and the gnome produces a small bag containing 5 gold pieces. I'm sure it's not much for a woman like you, he apologizes, but it's from all of us. Peering through the window of the tiny hut, you make out 20 or so faces. It'll do, you reply curtly. What was that creature? Do you know if it's a noble? They say you used to be the second noble of Kare, the gnome whispers. But he angered the first, so he was cursed to live in Kare forever. Now he's like a bad gold piece, keeps showing up. He gets dumped into different parts of the city. I think we'll take him to the Sven Quarter next. It's there to turn. Oh wow, this is just fucked up, isn't it? There's a chuckle of agreement from inside the house. Okay, anything about the spell lines? Now maybe you can help me. Do you know any of the spell lines for the North Gate, you ask? The gnome bursts into laughter, laughing so hard in fact that he begins to cry. Do I look like a nobe, he asks. Do I? You look like a rotten tree stump. You look like your ear is near the ground. Is that a height joke? The gnome nods at that. True, but to know the lines you have to go lower than that. Not all the nobles are even alive anymore. He scratches his nose meaningfully, although what he means is anyone's guess. Anyway, you could ask the priest at the shrine. He might be able to help. The gnome is starting to look awkward. What priest? The priest, the gnome shrieks, alarmed by your sharp response. He waggles a nervous nose up the road somewhere. Near the docks. The gnome's nose twitches. I'm going now, he says quickly. Here's one more gift. There is more kerfuffle, and then he brings out 3 pebbles. You're a sorceress, he whispers, and these are good for taking pot shots, so I hear, and he winks. You thank him and place the gift carefully into your pack. You continue downhill until you find yourself back at the place where the road splits. I think I know what priest he's talking about. Where there were the questions, and I backed out because I had to devote myself to some god. Wait, no, don't rewind. Okay, well, that's a bit of progress. Damn, okay. Oh! Hey! Okay, so I remember that, there was some elves, I think dark elves maybe, they were smoking a hookah, but this time so much time has passed that their house actually burnt down, and I've picked up some charcoal. I can use that charcoal to make a rubbing of Loreg's grave in, the necropolis. Oh my god, I will absolutely have to check that out. Okay, I got charcoal. That's good. Alright, the stallion tied up loosely outside of Theta's mansion. I have the green wig now. I can read its mind, can't I? Alright, you may be able to calm it. Yeah, we'll talk to it. It appears calm in your presence now. Perhaps you have made a friend. Okay, cast a spell. Let's go for telepathy, I want to say. Or is it yap? Talk with animals with the green-haired wig. Yes. You pull on the wig and cast a spell. After a moment, the sound of the horse's breathing changes from an irregular snort into a string of swear words and curses. What's the problem, horse friend? The problem, it replies, seeming indifferent to the fact you are talking to it. I've been stuck to this post for the better part of 3 weeks, that's the problem. Horses aren't meant to stand still. We get bored, our knees get knocky. Alright, who is your owner? Well, I already know. The horse stamps its feet and shakes its mane. Only a noble, it replies. Only an important man of Kare, Lord Theta himself. And where is he? Gone blind, gone begging. The last word you catch as you pull the wig free is typical. Leave it. You give the horse a pat and leave it to itself. Well, okay. I don't think there was anything worth looting in the house, just the cane and like the badge. I think we cleaned that out pretty well. Let's go to Dwarf Town and visit that vendor. Okay, hello. I have 18 gold. Who knows what I can buy? So, I don't really need provisions, but I want to look at the gauntlets. You notice 2 kinds of gauntlet on sale in the shop. Chainmail ones and leather ones. 5 gold pieces for either, the dwarf remarks helpfully. Chainmail is hard to make, but leather is harder to come by. Chainmail or leather? I feel like chainmail would provide more defense, but leather might give me more free movement of my arms. Which should I buy? The dwarf looks at you and thinks for a moment, as though considering your character. Leather, he says eventually. Of course, whether you can trust him or not is another question entirely. Yeah, I was actually leaning to leather. Buy the leather gauntlets. You hand over 5 gold pieces and place the leather gauntlets onto your wrists. You suddenly feel more skillful and proficient in your sword arm. But is that sensation an illusion? You cannot be sure. The dwarf points to the vial of dust. You should consider buying that, he remarks. No one else has. I think that's a useful spell tool, but How about the potion of mystery? You pick a bottle of potion carefully from the shelf. It is a thick, clear-colored liquid, and the label says Potion of Mystery, nothing more. 2 gold pieces, says the dwarf. Smell it. It's sweet, a little bitter. It's a mystery, obviously, he remarks. What do you expect it to do? Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You hand over 2 gold pieces and the dwarf nods in thanks. Drink the potion. You gulp down the potion while the dwarf watches. I've always wanted to know what that does, he remarks. A moment later, you are suddenly feeling much more skillful. Your muscles are bulging. A moment after that, you notice something fall onto your shoulder. It seems that your hair is coming out in clumps. The dwarf behind the counter nods. Oh, one of those. I sold one to that chef thing last month. The dwarf harumphs, leans back, and waits to serve you. Okay. I am now a bald muscle lady. I am okay with this. Okay, so apparently these gauntlets and this potion have made me stronger somehow. Anyway, a vial of dust. Alright, I'll buy it. I still have some money left. I think we're good. Could I buy some provisions? What are the prices? Oh, 3 gold per meal. I might regret not buying any in, when we get to the Backlands. It's probably going to be all wilderness, maybe. And besides, I know I have a windfall waiting for me on the east side of the city by selling my large handry sword and finagling the blacksmith a bit, so we'll just buy one. You hand over 3 gold pieces and place the rations in your bag. Buy nothing else. You head back into the sunlight and stretch to your full height. Okay, from here, yeah, it's not going to be anything new, but I think we want to look at the priest, who I want to say is near the well. We'll try heading there next. Ah, here we go. This is that little fish that was guarding the gold. Yeah, we can read its mind now. Yeah, cast a spell. I believe it is Yap once more. Y-A-P. Cast. Yeah, the fish says cold in here. Cold. Cold in here. Ask the fish about the North Gate. Those will be priceless. Fish, you ask, I need to get through the North Gate. Can you help me? The fish swims around in circles. No amount of magic is going to make a fish understand what the North Gate is. Please, fish, you say, tell me which way I should go next. Some go left, the fish replies. They don't come back. Some go right. They come back. This could be useful advice, but unfortunately it is not at all clear which way the fish is facing. The spell fades, you take the wig off your head, and the words become mere breaking bubbles once again. Okay. I wonder if I could, cast a fireball to warm up the water. I mean, what would I even get out of that? It's just guarding 1 coin. It's just a stupid fish. Move on, I guess. I like this. I went and got myself caught by Vangorn the murderer again, and it's saying, he is trying to talk to you, pouring a glass of frothing ale with one hand and lacing it with poison with the other. Yeah, we know how this goes down. So I can just attack him straight up. So let's test out my new power. You waste no time in drawing your sword. Let's see here. 13. Was my cap previously like 11 or 10? I think I am stronger. That is most curious. But okay, let's see here. I think he begins with like a... He doesn't really attack, he like defends at first, so 5.3. Yeah. Vaingorn raises his sword and stares at you along the length of the blade. You rush forward, hoping to catch him before he can respond. Vaingorn covers himself. He is left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. Grimacing, he murmurs a quick curse as he sets his stance. Ooh. Close one. What an arm. Let me see you do that again, the murderer suggests. I'll stand still as you can hit me. Yeah, let's just defend. I think I might have been able to overpower that. I can surely overpower him here. Nice. I finished him, lost 1 stamina. That's good. Alright. So I think he had a few gold and an antidote. And maybe something else. Alright, his body. 8 gold pieces. And the cupboards. Poison and essence of bark. I already have enough poison in your pack. Take the essence. Another essence. Right. And the hangings, that was just his pet tarantula, so we'll leave. Hey, I just had a thought. So here I am in the shrine, which we indeed have been to. Right, so I was reasonably confident that attacking that guy with the dagger on the road was self-defense. But, Vaingorn was kind of just standing there, pouring poison into the cup. Do you think that counts as murder? I mean, I could have just ran. Uh-oh. God damn it, I might have just fucked up beyond belief. We will have to see what the god thinks. I might actually want to do this here. We'll wait and watch, and we'll go through with this. Okay, we try to choose the easy question, because that will grant us our wish. But to do that, we need to become a follower of Slain. Now, Slain is not Korga, the god in the ziggurat, so we should be at least on good terms. Right. The price of the easy question is something you value, your very soul. To answer the question, you must agree to leave your god behind and become a follower of Slain. A follower such as myself and many others in this room. Will you take the adventure for a great reward? Sell my soul to save this city? Maybe. You guys better be thankful for this. I will do as you ask. Brothers and sisters, the priest declares, with a booming enthusiasm, we have a new convert to the god of malice. Placing a hand on your forehead, he begins an incantation. You can feel your spirit guide slipping away from you. The ape! He's been with me for so long! Oh. Okay, let it happen. It says slain. You wait to see what will happen. You feel an icy touch as the spirit of Slain enters your heart, laughing. The god of malice is now your spirit guide, and he will help, but his help will always come with a cruel cost. In the distance, the gong is sounded. The priest closes his eyes and begins to rock backwards and forwards. The crowd go quiet. All eyes are on you now. The priest's eyes flick open once more as he intones the riddle from the god. A shadowy swordsman you can barely see. But pray, tell me now if you can, who is he? That's Flanker. Pray for guidance. I could ask the god to just solve the riddle he's giving me for me. That would be bullcrap. Femora Flanker. There is a moment's pause as the priest screws up his eyes. His eyes flick open once more. That is correct, he announces. The crowd cheer. They clearly enjoy seeing Slain defeated. Very well, the priest continues, turning to you. You may have one wish. What do you want? I wish to be rich beyond my imagination. Tell me the spell for the North Gate. Tell me the order of the spell lines. Who is Vic? Can Kare be saved? I wish to be stronger than anyone ever. Look, I can figure out the order on my own. Tell me the spell for the North Gate. Right. The priest closes his eyes and summons his god. I cannot tell you the spell in its entirety, he intones. But Molus, the second noble, was a follower of Slain, and the line he knew was, I bid you portals open wide. The spell lines you have found are listed in the keys section of your inventory. You thank him. The crowd reach out to touch your tunic as you make your way to the door. Clearly not many survive the challenge of Slain. Back on the street, it is night. Time to find somewhere to rest. I got Molus's line. I sold my soul and I can save the city, but I need to figure out the right order. Okay, so Slain. Hey, buddy. Slain is the god of malice. He does not cause harm, but wishes you ill. He does not lead you astray, but ensures the wrong decision is always within reach. He does not forgive, but reminds you constantly of your folly. Oh, this is... okay. This is neat, but I'm terrified. Okay, unfortunately, I can't look at the lines in their entirety without having to cut away the footage because I'm now getting copyright strikes from the music that plays during my inventory, so let me look at the spell lines here for a moment. Okay, we know that the very first line is absolutely by Korga's Grace and Forga's Pride. Or was it Korga's Pride and Forga's Grace? No, it's the first one. So then we have tumblers 2 sealed deep inside, one lock made of golem's hide, I bid you doors open wide, or something like that. I want to say that I bid you doors open wide, or whatever it is exactly, is the final line, because none of the other ones make sense as a final line for an incantation. So I think I'm dead certain that the first line is by Korga's Grace and Forga's Pride, and the final one is I bid you doors open wide. So that leaves tumblers 2 buried deep inside, and one lock made of golem hide. I think the second line is one lock made of golem hide, because the next line, that may be the next line, tumblers 2 sealed deep inside, that's talking about what is inside the lock. So it's like, by Korga's Grace and Forga's Pride, One lock made of golem hide, tumblers 2 sealed deep inside. I bid you, portals open wide. I think that's it. But I will think about it, and we will make our way to the north gate. Maybe making the charcoal rubbing in the necropolis will send me the right way. Good lord. Okay. We'll head for the docks, but we're not going to go visit Flanker. We're gonna maintain our ownership of him by just cheating and not playing Swindlestones with him. And we're not gonna, meet him, then turn him down to make him angry at us. So, alright. Waste no time. Huh. That's weird. I went to bed hungry, and I had a nightmare where I was captured by a torture with a sadistic imagination, but my stamina actually replenished. That's weird. I'm now up to 18 again. Okay, so... yeah, wait, what? It is just about sunrise, and the early morning light coming through the windows lights up your room and gleams off the blade suspended just above your neck. A guillotine, get off the bed. You move to get away from the guillotine blade, but your movement is restricted by tough leather ties, which hold you down to the bed. As you squirm, the blade twitches. It is suspended on a complex system of pulleys and ropes, with the end of the rope attached around your left wrist. From one corner of the room comes a loud, weird laugh. It is the innkeeper squatting and watching. I need meat for my stew, he crows. Bribe him? I'm about to get a lot of money, so bribe him. Let me go, you declare, and I'll pay you for your trouble. The innkeeper nods. Could do, though the amount of meat on you is worth more than you're carrying, I'm quite sure. But look, I'll give you a chance. The rope around your wrist there, that's holding the system in place. So if I untie it, or if you raise your wrist yourself, the blade will either fall, or it'll raise up. He gets to his feet. I tell you what, I'll let you take your time. With that, he leaves the room, closing the door behind him. Pull the rope, release the rope, pray for aid. I'm going to reverse psychology this. Releasing the rope is the scariest thing you would do. I feel like pulling the rope would be trying to grab for your own agency again, but releasing the rope is putting yourself at fate's whim. So less people would do that, therefore this might be the thing. Well, it could all be just a sick trick, and this is a game, and no matter what I do, I'm screwed, but release the rope. You bend your fingers up to the knot and pull it loose. There's an agonizing moment as the weight of the thread slips through your fingers. What's my fate? And then the blade rises up. You breathe a sigh of relief now to free yourself. Lower the blade, loosen your wrist straps, leg straps. Yeah, start with my wrist. Using your free left hand, you loosen the straps around your right wrist, but you cannot free them completely, but at least you can now move your right wrist as high as your neck. Loosen your leg straps. Lower the blade. You move the strap around your right wrist up to your neck and lower the blade carefully, using its edge to cut through the leather. Then you lift the blade once more. Both your arms are now free. Alright, loosen your leg straps. I am on my feet. Oh, we're heading downstairs. I'm giving that innkeeper what for. The innkeeper gasps in alarm at your appearance and cowers behind the bar. Grab him, leave him be. You know what? I'm probably not gonna... I don't really care about visiting Korga anymore, so... yeah, let's murder this dude. You go around the bar and grab him bodily. He is light enough to throw over your shoulder. He squeals and kicks with fear. It wasn't me, he shouts. It was the other 6 of me that did it. Put him down again or tie him to the bed. Okay. Laughing cruelly, you carry him up to the room and strap him down to the bed. You take a moment to rewire the string around the pulleys. The horrified innkeeper twists and turns his head to try and follow the thread, but cannot get a good view of where he lies. Leave him offer advice. Even I don't know if you should pull or release, you tell him. I think you should release. Good luck. Then you walk out the door, leaving the man to face his own trap. That's karma. The inn door slams shut behind you and the sun comes out overhead. I think Slane might have liked that. Oh my god. Okay, well. From here it should just be a clear break to the statue, the merchants where I can sell my sword, the blacksmith where I can rebuy the sword, and then supplies I can buy, and then we'll head to the necropolis, then to the gate. Alright. Wait a second. Halfway across the bridge, you hear a blood-curdling scream coming from somewhere on the bank you just left, but you let it go. Gee, I wonder what happened to that innkeeper. Right, here we are at the necropolis. So I made a killing at the market. I sold my legendary sword, bought it again, and I got some more gear. I got another copy of Snake Venom Antidote, and I bought 6 rations. We'll be going into the Backlands with at least 9, and I made a tidy profit in gold anyway. So I am very pleased. And now we're here, I can make a charcoal rubbing. Right, we'll clear the inscription. Make a rubbing. You put a spare leaf from your spell book over the inscription and rub it with the charcoal of the burnt wooden mask. The inscription comes up clearly. Here lieth Loreg, arrive he in smoke to save us. Damned he the river, afore the flood could take our camp away. Forged he the weapons of silver to cut the ghosts. Caught he the rage of fury in the gates of bone. Loreg, spirit of Kare, you must never leave. Well, that didn't help at all. Well, okay. Well, my curiosity has been satiated. Leave the tomb. Right. I am at an impasse here. Do I want to go up the ziggurat? I could go check on Korga, though I feel like he might not like me, especially because I'm worshipping Slane. I don't know how Korga feels about Slane. I could go back up to the top, cast another word spell, but while we were up in the ziggurat, we saw lights and torches all around in the forest. If I go through the forest right now, I should run into those people, ? I want to check out the lights, so we'll skip the ziggurat, we'll skip Korga, as tempting as it may be. We'll just do this. You walk between clawing trees and thick bushes. The north gate is finally in sight. You can see its imposing, inordinately carved wooden doors over the top of the guard huts and low buildings that lie at the end of the road. Stride forwards. You stride forwards, footsteps crunching loudly on the gravel below. In a few minutes, you will have reached the edge of Carre. But between here and there is a long road, lined by thick and gloomy trees, a patch of wild forest like you haven't seen since the hills. I think we went cautiously before and we were attacked by some lizard, so what happens if we... Well, maybe going quickly would be foolish. Cautiously. Movement in the shadows on both sides of the road. Torchlight. Stop and look. You stop, ducking into the shadows, and watch. Whatever is moving in the darkness, there are a lot of them. Then a gleam of moonlight catches one and you see it clearly. A wolf clad in tight metal armor. No, a werewolf! And the armor is the same as the one you saw before. Okay, I didn't think to mention it, but I was attacked by a werewolf in armor right at the start of the city when I slept out in the streets. No matter, you have defeated werewolves before. Vic for first noble. Oh my god, yeah, when I defeated the werewolf, she turned back into a human, and the words Vic were seared into her flesh like a slave brand. Vic for first noble. The werewolf stretches itself down on its haunches and whines. From the trees behind, a ruffian steps out, leading several more werewolves behind him. Well met, friend, he answers. Vic for first noble. The fortune teller said the wolves must be turned around. The fortune teller said the wolves must be turned around. Okay, what is happening tonight? He looks at you in bafflement. Tonight is the night. Where have you been? Have you been hit in the head? You need to get yourself sober, friend. Nod. You're right, you admit. He laughs. You're going the wrong way, the man observes. The fight is this way, and he points along the road back to town. Oh my god. I'm checking the rear. It's your fight, not mine. There's a goblin army who will come up behind you. Oh my god. What do I do? If I manage to sick these werewolves on the goblins, would that kind of like be a pseudo-good ending? I feel like if I chose to steer the wolves around and I brought them with me to the North Gate, maybe I wouldn't have the opportunity to cast the spell lines. The fortune teller said the wolves must be turned around. You know what? No, I'm confident I can save this myself. I'm checking the rear. The man nods. A rear attack when we face the guards in front could be serious. Good idea. Go well, friend. I hope you find nothing. With that, he whistles to his wolves and sweeps away into the night. You breathe a heavy sigh of relief. The North Gate. I hope I don't regret this. You have reached the North Gate once more. The ground is empty still. The goblins have not yet risen. Off to one side is a well, but there is no other cover. Wasting no time, you stride over to the gate. You reach the other side of the clearing unscathed and stand below the enormous doors. Right. Recite the spell. You knock firmly on the door until you wake the voice within. Do you know the spell to open this gate? It intones. By Korga's grace and Forga's pride. One lock made of golem's hide. Tumblers two sealed deep inside. I bid you portals open wide. You stand back to see what effect your lines have had. The voice has gone silent. Wait. Huh. Okay. You wait impatiently to see what will happen. Then the gate creaks, the tumblers drop, and the wooden panels begin to move. The door is opening. Booming out, the voice declares, the gate is under your control. But it is moving slowly. Looking over your shoulder, you see an army of goblins emerging from a well shaft, and they are racing towards you. Slip through the gate, stand and fight. Stand and fight. You stop, one hand on your sword, your mind searching for spells. But there are already 40 goblins or more in the clearing, with more appearing. You cannot hope to defeat them all. Behind you, the gate to the backlands is open, and you hear a noise from outside, a screeching sound. Look through the gate. You turn and look through, peering into the darkness of the wasteland beyond the wall. Figures are moving, more low figures. They are calling to each other, moving towards the opening door, preparing to rush into the city. The goblins from the well are slowing down now, fanning around you as they watch. Are they planning to attack the figures outside the wall? Or are they waiting to be joined by them? Go through the gate? You rush through the gate into the backlands. I better have just made the right choice. I swear to God. In the darkness around you, figures are moving, pouring towards the gate into the city. Inside, you see the goblins still coming. Close the gate? Gate, you command desperately. Close! The gate obeys immediately, swinging shut like a trap. From the low hills around, red-faced marsh goblins are springing up and pouring towards the sealed gate like flies onto a fallen ox. They begin to scramble on top of one another, trying to bridge the wall with their own bodies. Destroy the goblins. The goblins must be destroyed. As though on command, a ghostly figure forms in the air before you. It is Loreg. You control the gate, the figure whispers. Use it. Try. It is hopeless. How can you use a magic you do not know? You close your eyes, feeling your anger and frustration rising. The hated goblins, this meddling specter, the long and difficult road behind, and the one still to come, all seem to bite into your very soul with wolf-like teeth. There is suddenly a terrible sound and a smell of burning. Open my eyes. You open your eyes. There is not a goblin in sight, just blackened grass around the gate, and black soot in piles on top of the wall. The ghost nods to you, slowly to you. All the hatred of the whole city, of thieves and liars and murderers, stored for centuries. A little leaked out into the red eyes. The rest was waiting for this, for one strong of heart enough to use it. He gestures to the path ahead. Go. Be safe. The road is long. You nod and turn to go. Oh wow. Oh wow. From a short distance away, you look back to see the plain outside the gate is quite empty. Not a single marsh goblin remains, not a single short sword or hooked pick. It is like they have been wiped from the surface of the earth. And inside Kare, something similar must have occurred, as where there was the sound of clashing swords, there is now only silence. You have saved Kare. A foul city, perhaps, but not one whose citizens deserve to die by a goblin sword. But it has been at the cost to your strength. You turn your back. Your own road lies ahead, through the plains of Badubak and on towards Mampain. The backlands await. You remember the words of the Sightmaster Sergeant as you left the outpost settlement. Once you have crossed the city port of Traps, you will enter the backlands. They say that day and night are controlled by forces other than the sun. And from Kare too, your progress will be watched. Your journey across Kare is complete. In the course of your journey, you saved the city port of Kare from destruction, and your spirit guide was replaced by Slain, the god of malice. You played 2 games of Swindlestones, winning one and losing one. You lost your hair. You learnt the truth about what the crown does, a riddle about the sleepless ram, and that silver weapons harm the undead. You collected a large number of magical artifacts, a cloth skull cap, a pouch of sand, a vial of glue, 3 pebbles, 1 blimberry potion, 2 giant's teeth, a green-haired wig, 2 sun jewels, and a partridge in a pear tree. Also, you found a bottle of poison, some bottles of bark essence, a serpent ring, some bottles of snakebite antidote, a bow and arrow, and a tinderbox. You are armed with a legendary sword, and your original sword, and have 9 rations and 23 gold pieces, and a spell book. The adventure continues in Sorcery 3, The 7 Serpents. Out now. Save to cloud. My spell name is Keruxy. Keruxy. Anyone can enter this spell code into Sorcery 3, and they will have my save file. Oh man. Keruxy, huh? Right on. Well then. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Act 2 of Sorcery, and my god, this was the coolest shit. This Groundhog's Day time loop through this complex, bustling city with so much danger and shenanigans and bullshit and all these treasures and these riddles and the nobles and... Oh my god, this was good. Oh my god, that was so good. So the city was passively pooling the rage and anger and malice and nastiness generated by the citizens across its history, all in the moment to prepare for just annihilating this goblin army. That is so cool. God, I bet there's a lot that I missed. Like, I took 3 trips through trying my best to find all the new stuff, My god, I bet there's so much that I missed. But yeah, we're entering the Backlands with quite a lot of kit. I'm pleased with what we have. 9 rations, some gold. We got that strength potion, which made me hairless. We got leather gauntlets, the large Handry sword, to say the least, the bow and arrow, silver chain, tons of magical tools. We are equipped. So the 7 serpents, huh? That's the subtitle for Act 3? Huh. Yeah, I mean, I don't look too closely at the titles in my Steam library. I already have all 4 acts. So I have the silver serpent ring, and I also have some snakebite antidote. If there are 7 serpents, I guess I might need to make those 2 bottles of antidote count. Oh my god, dude, I can't get over how cool this is. This is the best. Visual novels are the best. To think that that before I even started this YouTube channel, I had never once played a visual novel in my life. Yet here comes Ace Attorney and Sorcery and Fate Stay Night swinging their huge dicks around, slapping me right in the face with how awesome they are. Oh my god, I love it. Visual novels. Oh, and Hatoful Boyfriend too. That one was great. Yeah, Hatoful Boyfriend, the pigeon dating simulator. That's more than just a dating simulator. Love that one too. Well, I don't know how the length of these visual novels will compare, like the various acts of Sorcery. I mean, Act 1 was very short. Act 2 here was very long in comparison, but that may be just because I was in a Groundhog's Day loop, and I went through it 3 times total. So time will definitely tell if Act 3 and 4 are of similar lengths, but... Right. All I know is that this journey has been amazing, and I'm very glad to have taken it here with a Let's Play. So, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been Sorcery. Thank you for watching, and hopefully, I'll catch you next time for Act 3, The 7 Serpents. Until then, please take care.